Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and this is Elden Ring's easiest mode. This is a mode that still works, even after the nerfs and whatnot to the Fingerprint shield and Scholar's shield. This is still epically awesome. And as you can see here, we're using the Fingerprint shield with Scholar's shield, and we have the Blasphemous Blade as well, so we can heal back any chip damage we take while blocking pretty much everything, all types of physical damage with a good amount of blocks for elemental damage as well. As you can tell here, we can take a lot of chip damage from Morgott, from a lot of the other enemies in the game, and with Scholar's shield it gives us better protection against elemental damage. Even after the recent nerfs and patches that affected specifically the Fingerprint shield and Scholar's shield, it's still awesome. As mentioned before, we're going to be healing back that chip damage while also dishing out a fair amount of damage with the Blasphemous Blade, because the Blasphemous Blade is really great. It both heals you and it does a lot of fire damage. And there's a lot of enemies and bosses in the game with 0 fire resistance, including Morgott, Godfrey, Melania, and really frankly a lot of the game either takes extra or neutral to fire damage. Fire is very good in Elden Ring, so it makes this a great combination together that you can use to heal back anything that you get hit, and then just constantly block stuff with the Fingerprint shield, Scholar's shield, high guard, and that elemental boost as well. Now, from a physical damage standpoint, it's going to be really hard to guard break you. Now, after the nerfs and such, it is technically possible for bosses and such to guard break you, but it's very difficult for them to do so. They'd have to consistently do full combos, apply pressure, and give you no time to regenerate stamina. Speaking of which, you can use items to regenerate stamina, or you can use the Greatshield Talisman as well. I'll show my setup later. I didn't really go for that in this run. It worked well without it, but getting that stamina back is not a bad idea. So we're not going to go over each individual item, like where to get it. I've been doing that in some of my videos lately, but it would probably be like a 20-minute video just to show you how to get the Fingerprint shield. You get it in the subterranean shunning grounds beneath the capital, and you have to navigate a series of pipes and a whole bunch of different things that make it very difficult. It's a very hard item to grab, but when you get it, it's still worth it, and it's still quite good. And you know, the Blasphemous Blade is from Rykard, and then Scholar's Shield you get from Sorcerer Sellen's questline. You have to do her questline, I think, to maybe a certain extent. I believe you can purchase it from her very early. She's in, I want to say Waypoint Ruins. I can't remember off the top of my head. I haven't done her questline in a while. Spoilers, it is a very depressing and sad questline. But yeah, she has a questline. I'm not sure if you can buy it immediately. If you can't buy it immediately from her, just progress her quest line and eventually you can get Scholar's Shield, which increases your guard boost as well as elemental damage that you can take. And as you can tell here with the Fire Giant, Blasphemous Blade isn't great on him. It takes a long time to beat him with it. It took a long time. It was kind of a marathon of a fight, so I didn't show it all. But blocking that fire there, that was pretty awesome. Honestly, it was pretty cool to see that. It took about 30% of her HP where we would normally die. Now, real quick, before we go to the Godskin duo, I figure I show some like tips in here occasionally and such. If you didn't know this, because I ended up using Bernal just so I could focus on one and then he could focus on the other, this is how you get to that other grace where you can actually summon Bernal. And if you don't use him, obviously you can always use your summons and mimic. You can use both. But yeah, if you're ever having a hard time with the Godskin duo, you turn around, jump off those stairs, and then roll off and then come around this towards like the inside here, and then at the bottom level there'll be another grace. I believe it's Dragon Temple transcript or something like that. And yeah, that will help you a lot if you're having a hard time with the Godskin duo, because Bernal's there. You can summon him. He uses Golden Vow, and he's also very, very tanky, and he hits very hard. Now with the Godskin duo, especially since we have Bernal and we're just focused on one, we can pretty much block everything physical. The only thing you really can't block is the fire damage from when they throw Black Flame or use Black Flame Ritual. In my case, I walked into Black Flame Tornado. But yeah, as far as that goes, I did walk right back into it. But yeah, as you can tell here, physical, including this rolling thing, which is the main reason why I wanted to show this clip, pretty awesome. All of that, which would normally damage us a ton, didn't even guard break us, took about half our stamina. That was really cool to see that. And as you can tell here, we can continue to block, dish out a fair amount of damage, and this build makes everything so much easier. And yeah, being able to block all that stuff, it's really cool to see that. It's really cool to be able to kind of fight stuff in a way that just makes the game, it really is easy mode. And to know that on patch 1.08, because this is on the newest patch, and I always play online, so I'm always up to date with all this stuff, it still works quite well, even after the nerfs and stuff. Obviously now they can guard break you and whatnot, but even so, the stamina damage is pretty minimal. The shield's still pretty great, has 86 guard boost. And with Scholar Shield and the Greatshield Talisman, it's a little bit better. They help more with like smaller shields and stuff. But as far as the big shields go, it does less now, but it does actually still help. It does increase it somewhat. It's just less than if it were a medium or a small shield, and it does help. It makes it better overall, and it definitely helps as far as elemental damage goes. I would say the number one reason to use it now is probably for the elemental boost and less of the fact that it might give you a couple additional points in guard boost, because the guard boost in the Fingerprint Shield in base isn't even that bad. And we have the Blasphemous Blade plus 10, Demi-Human Staff, the Fingerprint Shield, Shard of Alexander, Greatshield Talisman, Great Jar's Arsenal, Ritual Sword Talisman, and then we have the Flame Tear and the Defense Tear. So the main two stats we're looking at here are endurance and strength first, because we need 48 just to wield the Fingerprint Shield, and then we need at least 30 endurance in order to use this, especially even with Great Jar's Arsenal. It doesn't matter. The Fingerprint Shield weighs so much that those are necessities. And then we have 40 faith so that we can get damage out of the Blasphemous Blade's Ash of War, which scales a lot with the faith stat. And we can do a lot of damage with it in general from a physical standpoint because we have high strength as well. As far as Beast Clergyman and Malekith, as far as Beast Clergyman goes, he has like literally all physical damage. So you can pretty much block all of it. And he's relatively easy to attack. Just be certain though when you do attack him, because he has a lot of combos that look like they won't hit you, to make sure to put your guard back up quickly. I don't think I mentioned this yet, but if you're not subbed, definitely sub to this channel too if you love overpowered PvE builds or you're enjoying Eldenring and From Software games in general. There's a ton of awesome overpowered PvE builds on my channel, so be sure to check those out. And the community that I have now has been growing a lot and stuff, and it's been awesome. Everybody's super friendly, and I really appreciate everybody. It's been so much fun so far. The fact that I even had gotten over 1,000 subs is I never even thought I would get that far. And then now getting there and everything and just having everybody be so nice. And I do get back to everybody as quickly as I possibly can with questions and stuff like that on the builds, or if they need any help or anything like that. We also have a Discord too that it kind of just made maybe like a week ago or so. So I'll put that in the description as well. If you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to me, ask, and I'll try to help the best I can or give you the best answers. Now back to the battle at hand. As far as Radagon goes, he can technically guard break you. He's going to spam you a lot. He's going to do a lot of chip damage too, so try to make the fight as short as possible. 0 fire resistance. The Blasphemous Blade does awesome damage on him. If you want to survive and get through the stamina check that is Elden Beast afterwards, then you definitely want to make sure you get in your attacks, block what you can, and don't make the fight go too long, because if it does, it may not end up in your favor. This is a fight that you always want to be short. He'll try to do his thing and beat you up as much as he can, and the chip damage will get through. If you continue to block, he can guard break you. I tested it. I actually died the first time and got them both on the second try. But yeah, it's possible for Radagon to guard break you, given the fact that he has so much like spam attacks as far as like just like the holy spears and everything he could just combo throw at you. It makes it very difficult to just stand there and block everything, and you're going to continue to take chip damage as well. So you might as well get in your attacks, do a lot of damage, and heal up with the Blasphemous Blade. It's your best bet. Always make that fight short. I was on journey, I guess, 4, by the way, on this character. I have 3 characters at 150 for the purpose of YouTube, and yeah, I just want to show that. So it was journey 4 this whole time, so they got a little bit more HP, but nothing too crazy. And as far as mob control, this is excellent against mobs. It's not something that's going to lack by any means as far as mobs go. You can completely obliterate them with the Blasphemous Blade. It also knocks down a lot of things, including Melania, by the way. It knocks down a ton of stuff, and then you're able to pretty much block any regular enemies. Regular enemies don't stand a chance against you. They could hit you all day with this thing, and you are literally a rock. They are not going to guard break you with the Fingerprint shield and Scholar's shield. You're just going to stand there, they're going to bounce off, and it's kind of hilarious, honestly. You could just stand there all day and there's not a thing that they could do to you. I hope this video was helpful, by the way. I hope this was fun. This is a really fun build, as you can probably hear it in my voice. I've always liked this build, kind of since launch. It's been a lot of fun. The Fingerprint Shield's a lot of fun. The Blasphemous Blade is always overpowered and awesome. It's just a fantastic combination. As far as the Fingerprint Shield goes, by the way, make sure you have no skill on it so that you can use the Blasphemous Blade's Ash of War. I know there's going to be a no skill joke, but yeah, this makes Elden Ring a lot easier. If you love overpowered PvE builds, definitely check out the builds that are on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys there.